To understand how far we've come, let's look back at the so-called golden age of air travel, the 1970s. This was a time when flying was seen as glamorous and exciting, a privilege reserved for the few who could afford it. Passengers dressed up for their flights, and the experience was often associated with luxury and adventure. Images of glamorous flight attendants and gourmet meals hide a darker truth. This was the deadliest decade in aviation history. Behind the polished service and elegant uniforms, there was a constant underlying risk that most travelers today would find unthinkable. Major accidents were alarmingly frequent, and flying felt like a gamble. Every trip carried a sense of uncertainty, and the fear of disaster was never far from passengers' minds. In 1972 alone, over 55 major crashes killed more than 2,400 people. The scale of these tragedies was staggering, and each incident left a lasting mark on the public consciousness. Today, it's not uncommon for a whole year to pass without a single fatal crash involving large jets. The contrast with the past is striking, and it's easy to take modern safety for granted. Back then, unreliable technology, basic navigation, and lax regulations made flying far riskier. Pilots had to contend with frequent mechanical issues and limited support from ground control. Controlled flight into terrain, where pilots accidentally flew into mountains or the ground, was a common tragedy. These accidents often happened in poor weather or unfamiliar terrain with little warning. Without modern warning systems, pilots relied on imprecise instruments and paper charts. Navigation was a challenge, and even experienced crews could make fatal mistakes. Engine and system failures were far more likely, and every crash was front-page news, fueling public fear. The sense of danger was ever present, shaping the way people viewed air travel. But this era of risk forced the industry to change. Airlines, regulators, and engineers began to realize that safety had to become the top priority. The unacceptable accident rate became the catalyst for decades of innovation and reform. New technologies, stricter regulations, and better training transformed the industry from the inside out. That's how flying transformed from a risky venture into the safest way to cross continents. Today, millions of people board flights with confidence, trusting in a system built on lessons learned from the past. The cockpit's transformation over the past few decades has been nothing short of revolutionary, reshaping the very core of aviation. This evolution is one of aviation's most visible and impactful safety leaps, fundamentally changing how pilots interact with their aircraft. In the 1970s, pilots faced a maze of analog dials and switches, with every flight demanding constant attention and teamwork. Often, a third crew member, the flight engineer, was essential just to keep up with the workload and monitor the many systems. Navigation was manual and error-prone, especially in bad weather, requiring pilots to rely on paper charts, radio beacons, and their own calculations. Even a small mistake could have serious consequences. The arrival of the glass cockpit changed everything. Dozens of gauges were replaced by a handful of digital screens, integrating critical information and slashing pilot workload. GPS brought pinpoint navigation, making routes more efficient and reducing the risk of getting lost. Meanwhile, systems like EGPWS gave pilots real-time terrain warnings, virtually eliminating accidents like controlled flight into terrain and providing a new layer of situational awareness. Weather radar evolved from blurry black-and-white images to detailed color-coded Doppler displays, letting pilots avoid storms and turbulence with far greater confidence and accuracy. Real-time satellite weather data now gives crews a clear, up-to-the-minute picture of their entire route, helping them make better decisions and keep flights on schedule. These advances have turned flying from a guessing game into a science of precision and awareness, where technology and human skill work hand in hand. Today's cockpit is a nerve center of safety and innovation, built to keep pilots informed, reduce errors, and ensure every passenger's journey is as secure as possible. The biggest leap in safety? The astonishing reliability of modern jet engines. In the early jet age, engine failures were common, and pilots trained for them on every flight. The high-bypass turbofan changed everything. Stronger materials, precise manufacturing, and advanced design made engines far more dependable. In the 1960s, there were about 40 in-flight engine shutdowns per 100,000 hours. Today, it's less than one. Modern engines are expected to last their entire service life without causing a major emergency. This reliability allows twin-engine jets to cross oceans, something unthinkable in the 1970s. Thousands of sensors now monitor engine health in real time, sending data to ground crews for predictive maintenance. Problems are fixed before they become emergencies, keeping planes in the air and passengers safe. The modern jet engine is a quiet, dependable workhorse, one of the unsung heroes of aviation safety. Technology alone isn't enough. Regulation is the backbone of aviation safety. In the 1970s, rules varied wildly between countries, leaving dangerous gaps. High-profile accidents pushed authorities like the FAA and EASA to enforce strict, harmonized standards. Aircraft now face rigorous certification, with every critical system required to have backups. Maintenance is tightly regulated, with every repair and inspection tracked for the life of the aircraft. Even a 20-year-old jet must meet the same standards as a brand new one. International cooperation, led by organizations like ICAO, ensures global consistency. Programs like the Universal Safety Oversight Audit hold countries accountable and drive improvements. This web of regulation is invisible to passengers, but it's a powerful force keeping every flight safe. Today, no matter where you fly, you're protected by a global safety net. Even the best technology is only as safe as the people using it. In the 1970s, strict cockpit hierarchies meant first officers rarely challenged captains, even in emergencies. Crew Resource Management, or CRM, revolutionized teamwork, empowering every crew member to speak up and share responsibility. Modern pilot training focuses on communication, decision-making, and teamwork, not just technical skills. Full-motion simulators let crews practice emergencies and refine their CRM skills under pressure. Flight attendants are trained for rapid evacuations, firefighting, and medical crises. They're a vital part of the safety team. Coordination between cockpit and cabin is drilled until it's second nature. This human-centered approach has prevented countless accidents. The focus on teamwork and communication is as crucial as any technological advance. Safety is now everyone's job, from the flight deck to the cabin. When accidents do happen, aviation's commitment to learning is relentless. Today's investigations focus on finding root causes, not blame. Black boxes, flight data, and cockpit voice recorders capture every detail, helping experts reconstruct events second by second. Independent agencies like the NTSB lead massive, collaborative investigations, analyzing data, wreckage, and procedures. The goal: understand the error chain and fix systemic problems. Safety recommendations drive real change: new regulations, design tweaks, or training updates. This feedback loop, tragedy, investigation, reform, has eliminated countless risks. Every lesson learned makes the next flight safer. The greatest shift in aviation is a culture of global collaboration and transparency. Decades ago, airlines and regulators kept problems to themselves, slowing progress. Now, safety data is shared across the industry through programs like the FAA's ASIAs, spotting risks before they become accidents. Voluntary, non-punitive reporting lets pilots and crews flag hazards without fear, turning mistakes into learning opportunities. When a safety issue is found, manufacturers and regulators alert every operator worldwide. Global audits and best practice sharing set a high bar for everyone. This interconnected web means a lesson learned in one country protects passengers everywhere. Safety is no longer a secret, it's a shared mission. All these advances, technology, regulation, training, and a culture of constant vigilance, have transformed aviation safety over the decades. Today, these elements combine seamlessly to make flying the safest way to travel, giving peace of mind to millions of passengers every day. The risk of a fatal accident on a major airline is now vanishingly small. Statistically, it's far safer than driving to the airport or even crossing a busy street. The global fatal accident rate has dropped by over 95% since the 1970s, thanks to relentless innovation and learning from every incident, no matter how minor. In fact, some years, not a single passenger dies in a large jet crash worldwide, a remarkable achievement considering the millions who fly each day. Over 100,000 flights take off and land safely every day, guided by advanced air traffic control systems and highly trained professionals, a testament to relentless improvement. But safety is a journey, not a destination. The industry never stops looking for new risks and solutions. Predictive data, new technologies, and a commitment to learning from every flight keep the system evolving. International collaboration and global teamwork keep raising the bar, ensuring that best practices are shared and adopted everywhere. Next time you fly, remember the invisible shield of safety built by millions of dedicated people, engineers, pilots, controllers, and crew, working behind the scenes. It's why you can relax, watch a movie, and arrive safely on the other side of the world, trusting in a system designed for your protection. Flying today isn't just safe, it's a marvel of human achievement, built on decades of dedication, innovation, and global cooperation.